For you to become a professional graphic designer, you must understand how things like shapes, images, text, and layouts in general works to generate stunning outputs like these flyers you're seeing on your screen. Right, so in this video I'm going to be showing you how I was able to create all of these flyers like this inside of Affinity using basic shapes and knowledge of the basic tools inside of Affinity. Welcome to my channel where I make Affinity fun, easy to learn. If you've not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you're subscribed. Subscribe and turn on post notifications so I don't miss any video I'll be dropping in time from now. Without having to say much, let's get started. So you can see that this time I'm using the artboard compared to what I used in the last video. So if you've not watched my video on how to use artboard, make sure you click on this video here. Make sure you watch this video to get a proper understanding of the artboard, right? So having said that, this is the artboard tool here. So this is what we're going to be using now. So these are our reference images that are going to be using, right? So to start with, I'm going to start with this one here. You can see I have my artboard ready, so I don't have to clip anything compared to our last video, right? So this is me using the artboard, right? So if you've not seen the last video, make sure you click on the last video to watch and understand everything I just said, right? So the first thing I'm going to create is that shape. So I'm just going to draw this like this, and I'm going to give it this color here, right? Now I'm going to focus on making a duplicate copy of this, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, like this. So I'm just going to drag down here like this to make a duplicate copy of this, right? So select the two of them and click on convert to curve. You can see they are now curved images. So what I need to do is with my corner tool, I'm going to select these corners. I'm holding down shift as I'm selecting them, just these corners alone, and I'm just going to drop them inside to create a nice corner for this. You can see we're halfway through creating the shape, right? So the next thing we're going to do here is I'm going over to my selection to select the two of them and click on add using the boolean command, right? So I'm just going to go over to my rounded corner tool, which is this one here, and I'm just going to drag out to create a nice curve, drag out also to create a nice curve. All right, so this is how you can create something like this, easy peasy. So I'm just going to go on to create the other shapes, which is this one's on the side. All right, you can click out to make sure this is not still selected, and you can just draw your shape here like this and move this inside to this point like this. And you also want to make this rounded corner, so select all of them, all of the corners like this, and make it a round corner like this. So you can then decide to move this inside. Let's move this inside a bit, and of course you can consider changing colors also. So I think somewhere here is good. I'm just going to use a lighter color for this, and I'm going to duplicate it here. I'm just going to put it in place. Nothing special, just like this, and that's all I'm going to do basically. So when you're done with this, you can decide to add your images, and this is how this was created, right? Good. So if you have any questions, make sure you drop it in the comment section. I will be ready and available to answer all your questions. So these are just basic simple shapes, right? So to do this, click on the rectangle tool here like this and draw a simple rectangle like this, and you might want to change the color to something darker. I'm just going to move here to change it, and what you want to do is select all the edges and convert it to rounded corners, and basically that's all we're doing here. All right, so I'm just going to make it smaller, reduce the noise or remove the noise permanently. We do not need that here. You might want to extend this way, and it's very easy and flexible, right? So away from this, let's move on to the next specimen here. So we have a whole lot of things going on here. Very simple, depending on the technique used to create this. I'm just going to do this. So create a rectangle like this, and I'm going to use the color picker to select the right color, which is the color used here. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do here is let's work on getting the first rounded corners. That's the easy part. So select all of these rounded corners using the corner tool and make it rounded corner like this. Make sure you're not doing too much. I almost did too much. All right, so this is the first step. The next thing you need to do is go over to your rectangle tool. We need to create that part. Right, so I'd like to know what you will have done if you were doing this for the first time. Right, so I'm just going to create this here and give it a darker color. Right, I'm going to duplicate this for this part here. Make sure it doesn't go inside too much. Convert everything to round corners using the corner tool like this, and you should arrive at this. Okay, so and one of the reasons why you should learn Affinity design or Affinity is because number one, it's free and it's an alternative to Photoshop. No subscriptions, it's free for life. And another thing is it's also a vector, a pixel based and a layout based application, which means it can do the work of Photoshop, Illustrator and InDesign combined, right? So you have the flexibility of using Photoshop, flexibility of using Illustrator, flexibility of using InDesign inside here. Most times you want to create shape, Photoshop is not fully optimized for you to create all of the shapes. You tend to go through a whole lot of vigorous process trying to create shapes like this, and at the end of the day you still don't get. That's why most graphic designers shy away from using shapes inside of their designs, and shapes plays a significant role inside your design, right? So imagine if this wasn't inside of this particular flyer, imagine how it would have been like, right? So it's not everybody that has the capabilities to become a good composition artist, making good composition. So utilize what you have by making use of what you have, using the right software to do all of these things. If it's shape you want to create, just the same way you don't create full-time logos inside of Photoshop. When you want to design logos, you use a vector-based application like your CorelDraw, your Illustrator, and Affinity to do that, because these applications are actually built for that purpose specially, right? If you want to do manipulation, you can switch over to the Pixel Studio inside of Affinity or use Photoshop. These are what these particular categories are built for, right? So moving on, I'm just going to add blur to this to create a shadow here. Selecting this, and okay, so I'm using radial, so I'm just going to stick to radial. Enough of my pep talk, and I'm just going to leave it this way. The only thing I'm going to do here is go over to where I have my live filters. This is it, yeah, and click on Gaussian blur, and I'm just going to bump this up, and easy peasy, I've created my shadow, so I can put anything on it, and rest assured that it's realistic. So like I said, take advantage of utilizing this software. It's very, very easy to understand, most especially if you have used softwares like CorelDraw or Illustrator or Photoshop before, right? Similarities are quite much, so take your time to learn this out. I have other videos that you can watch to get the right insights. So let's move on to this next one, which is kind of my favorite. So it looks confusing from the outside, but it's very, very, very easy. All right, so I know what you're thinking about, so I'll just use my pen to draw the corners and all of that. Why? You are right, but I'll do things differently, right? What some persons will have done is what I'm doing now. Use my pen to and try and get this, try and be calculative, you know. And at the end of the day, I just apply colors and everybody goes home happy. And that's by the way. So Ctrl Z all of this. Let me show you a better way to do this. That's why you clicked on this video. So click on the rectangle like this. I'm going to draw a rectangle like this. Don't worry about this horrible gradient here. I'm just going to convert this back to the color, or better still, let me use the red here. So good, I have my red done. So for you to be able to manipulate this shape, right click and convert to curve like this. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down here like this to create that effect. So it looks more like a perspective. You understand when I add the second shape. So the next thing I'm going to do here is make this smaller, of course. And I'm going to go over to my corner tool. And I'm going to select all the nodes. And I'm going to bring them inside to make it a rounded corner. Make sure it's not too much. Somewhere around here is good. So you can see I just made this rounded corners perfect. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I still need to make an adjustment on top. So what I'm going to do basically is, so that I can get that perspective out of this, is I'm going to go over to my node, hold down Shift and Control and drag this outside to create that nice perspective effect. So duplicate this, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and flip horizontal and flip vertical to create this second one under here. Right, so the good news is you don't have to create that other one from the scratch. Just duplicate and flip and flip. So let's work on creating this one on the side here. All right, so what I will have done before, right, because I've tried so many methods inside of this vector shaped applications, and I will have just drawn an ellipse here, right? Make a duplicate copy of this. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, take this inside and have this here. So what I would have done here, I would make this a darker color so I can differentiate. Select the two of them, and I'm going to go over to where I have my shape builder tool, which is here, and I'm going to click on the minus sign. I'm going to click on this to remove this, and basically click on the plus sign, click on this to make it a shape, and that's all. I can now change the color to the desired color I want, and this is how I would have done this before. But what if I tell you that there are simpler ways, and even with this I didn't get the right shape? So let me just delete this, delete everything, and do it in a more simpler way. Now with the introduction of this vector blob brush, they made things easier. What you can just do, select your brush, select the color you intend to use. Let me use something quite different. Let me use the red this time. And what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to draw like this. And easy peasy, I've gotten the shape. Right? So I might still need to modify it just a bit, but then it's not going to be too much. This is straightforward. From this part here also, you can see I've gotten my shape. So I can change the color at will, click on it, click on the two of them, change my color to whatever color I want to use. You can see how easy this is actually. But what I would like to do, or the tool I would like to use for this function, is inside here, and it's called the path brush tool. Right, so first thing, that's under the pencil tool. Right, so the first thing you want to make sure is make sure that the settings are right, and just click and drag like this, and basically this doesn't stress me out. Let me do it again, and as easy as that, you can see how smooth the edges are. So as you can see, it's an outline, so I can't give it a color, but I can change the outline color because it's an outline shape. I'll show you how to convert this. So I'm going to repeat the same process at the base here. So I'm just going to start here, and no, this is wrong. like this. Okay, good. This is okay. Right, so it's quite difficult when you want to change the color here, because on an outline you need to focus on changing the outline. Right, what if I told you there was a simpler way to do things? Now what you need to do is click on the two of them, or click on each one of them. You can see I have to keep changing the outline, but when you click on it and right click and click on expand stroke, you can see what happens. Automatically it has now become a shape. So I can do the same thing here. Right click on expand stroke, and you can see that it is now a shape that we can manipulate at will and get our desired results. I hope you understand this. Perfect, right? So these are ways you can easily cook up something good and something perfect inside of this software regardless. And practice with this, and give yourself time to grow, and you see that you will keep getting better and better. Like I said, take advantage of Affinity's offer. It's a free software. Make sure you learn the best, and make sure you keep practicing, right? Till I come your way in the next video. Make sure you are subscribed. I'll catch you later. Ciao.
With over 1,000 premium fonts, over 100 high-quality PSD flyer templates, over 700 icons, over 3,000 premium stock photos, 3,000 plus high-resolution backgrounds, 1,000 plus 3D and PNG assets, editable PSD templates, and lots more. If you're a creative designer, UI, UX, or web designer, the Smart Designer's graphics assets will make your life much more easier.